Thursday morning, December 4th, 2025. It is the Beating the Book podcast, MegaPod, week number 14, live from the fantastic studios, Sirius XM studios at the Wynn, Las Vegas. Jeremiah Crow, John Goulet making it happen today. We appreciate it as always. Gill Alexander, and of course, our staples on the show from his mom's cork attic in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Squirrel Hill, blocks away from where Mike Tomlin lives, and he's having a very bad morning. It's Todd Wishnev, everybody. How you doing, Toddy?
No, it's just living the dream over here, I'll tell you. Just living the dream.
Like to explain to people what's happening to you this morning?
So the college basketball group or in-game group for all the sports, but college basketball is the one I'm the best at. All of a sudden I wake up this morning and it disappeared. Now, if you know, we started off on WhatsApp, but it could only handle 1,024 members. So we moved to Telegram because you can have unlimited members on Telegram. So we moved it over to Telegram and everything was fine. And then all of a sudden this morning, it just disappeared. I'm frozen out of my account. I can't even see anything I wrote ever. And it's just, that's it, now. So all of a sudden that's it for the Telegram group. So now I had somebody in my group set up a Discord for me, and hopefully that'll be fine. But it's just ridiculous, It's like,
okay,
God forbid anybody should win in sports betting. It's just God forbid that should happen.
Todd, you're being nimble. That's all you can do. Discord it is. Go to T Wishnev, by the way. Should they go to your DMs?
Yeah,
is that where they sign up?
No, they don't even have to do that. I put it in today's post. I just put I put a link to the Discord. You can just click the link on the Discord and you'll be in the Discord. Until some other problem pops up and I'll have to shut the whole thing down and go back to just betting for myself like I always do.
Okay, stop it. All right.
Don't okay me. Don't okay me.
I'm okaying you because it's not half.
No. This MegaPod will be devoted the first 45 minutes to discussing the woes of my life. At that point, we will do the picks. And after that, and only after that, you will appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. I can't wait for you to read the records, though. That's coming up momentarily.
MegaPod closed down. MegaPod closed.
Wishnev on Twitter for Todd. At not the Will Hill for Will Hill, the host of the Shoulda Bet More podcast. Willie? What's happening?
Sup, boys? What's going on?
Todd's having a day. That's what I've learned. Okay, momentarily. By the way, our rotating guest also in studio here at the Wynn, which we've been really fortunate about having people in studio almost every week. People enjoy coming in here if they happen to be in town. He is the host of Ready, Set, Bet at VSiN, Saturdays and Sundays. Ready, Set, Bet, 6 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern on Sundays, where they're talking about all the football, college, and pro, and also known for hosting the football contest show, which follows the Ready, Set, Bet show on Saturdays. And he himself was in Circus Survivor until last week happened. It's Matt Brown, everybody. What's happening?
No, man, I'm feeling pretty good here on a Thursday. Hope I can bring the energy and the joy that Todd brought to the show. So hopefully I can do that. Yeah. I got a lot to live up to.
The guest chair is in the lead, if I'm not mistaken, so no pressure.
Yeah, no big deal.
I'm on your tail.
Yeah.
Just want to know that. Todd, what are the records? Let them know.
We're going to skip the records this week because that's not really important. And on to the next part of the show. Thank you. No, Todd, we will tell the records. Mr. Gilly, finally, after spending many weeks in the wilderness, under not being the leader, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I knew I was in trouble. If you noticed, I did say last week I hated my picks, but he has a great 2-1 week, a fantastic week to pull him to a stellar 19-20. And his teaser lost, so he goes to 5-8 on teasers. But he is now the leader in the clubhouse at 19-20. Good opponent selection by Gilly. Will had an outstanding week, 2-1. That's big time for Willie. He moves to 11, 26, and 2, and I think he loses his teaser to go to 7 and 6 on the teaser world. It was all the Eagles that got you guys on that whole nonsense.
Ravens too. It was both.
Oh, you did get it. Well, if you're going to lose one leg, you might as well lose both. I went a stellar 0-3 to finally lose the lead in the MegaPod for the first time in forever, to fall to 17, 19, and 3. We'd have to do the percentages to tell you exactly how far behind I am of Gill, because it does go by percentages. And I won my teaser to now bring myself all the way back from Twitter netherworld to 6 and 7 in Twitter in teasers. So that's outstanding. And our guest has been a shining light. So there's a lot of pressure on Mr. Matt Brown today, as our guest seat has gone 22, 16 and 1, a stellar record, and also 7 and 6 on teasers. So Matt Brown, you have to keep it going.
So did Brent go 2 and 1?
Yes, Brent went 2 and 1 with a he had
Okay.
I'm going to tell you exactly who he had. He had
Wait,
Eagles, Texans, and Cowboys.
How great is that having Brent on every year, by the way?
Awesome.
We all hit up each other after that appearance, and we're like, this is pretty unbelievable stuff. Brent was 2 and 1 on the heels of Rufus going 3 and 0 and Kelly going 3 and 0. So the guest chair is on an 8 and 1 run now.
I enjoyed Brent also as well.
Yeah, seems Brent like a while ago we did that one, right? Doesn't it? It seems like more than a week ago for some reason. Maybe because there's been so many sports in between.
Well, because it was more than a week ago.
It was 8 days.
You know what I mean,
right? Yeah. Todd's always gotta point out the difference. Okay. Before we move on then to the best bets, the story with in-game, Todd, is what? Well, Dumbo of the week. We should do that first. Dumbo of the week. Do you remember a specifically Dumbo coaching decision this week? This is the first week where I really don't.
I did remember something, but now I can't remember it. I thought I texted it to you guys, but it doesn't come right to mind now.
As you're looking, I will nominate somebody. This is not like Dumbo of the week typical material, but I thought on Thanksgiving, Andy Reid punting from 4th and 4 on the plus side of the field when his team was losing and not even doing the token, let's try to draw him off sides where you get a free shot at the first down and just punting the ball away. I thought that was a mistake, but again, that's not the typical, like, I can't believe he just did that. I just thought that was a mistake, not an egregious mistake.
And who was that again, Will?
Andy Reid in the Thanksgiving game against the Cowboys.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I don't have one for this week. This is the first week where I was like, I don't think anybody really jacked up. Matt, do you remember any coaching thing that was off the charts bad?
I don't think there was anything that I went ranting about.
Yes, it was a non-rant.
Yeah,
because also there was a bunch of kind of nothing games to begin with this past week. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Okay,
what about Jets Falcons and like 3 punts in the last 45 seconds of that game or whatever that was? That was crazy.
Yeah. Well, I have one. Mike Tomlin, I believe, had a sort of interesting one, right? Which is very on brand for Tomlin, where he punted very late in the Steelers game, and you're sort of like, was that the right thing to do? Pittsburgh losing, by the way, of course, to Buffalo. It was late in the game. Buffalo, remember, it was a nip-tuck game at halftime. And then Buffalo, right out of the gates on defense, scored a touchdown. They took the lead, never to relinquish that lead. But at 23-7, Pittsburgh gets to a 4th and 2 at the Buffalo 7. Here's the one. It was earlier in the game. There was a 4th down early in the game. Anyway, Tomlin punted when you're like, should he have done that? Should he have not? Anyway, not a big Dumbo of the week this week. Todd, any in-game?
Yeah, I guess just the only thing is actually I wanna upbraid myself for not doing something I've been having a lot of success with this year in the NFL, and that is in those big blowout games, and we've had plenty of blowout games. I've talked a lot about how the fourth quarters can be very valuable. Actually, I hit one of them because I noticed it real early in the I can't even remember which game it was, but there was some blowout.
Giants Patriots.
Yeah, that's right. Giants Patriots. Right. So I noticed that one was going to be ugly, and I got the +1.5 -160 early on, and of course that one ended up perfectly because the Giants scored right in the beginning of the fourth quarter. But the one that I really screwed up on was Jacksonville playing Titans. And the Jacksonville Jags go in for a touchdown to go up 25-3 with, I believe, about 13:20 to go, somewhere around 13 minutes to go in the game. At that point, you could get the Titans +22.5, meaning another +0.5 for the game, with the Titans getting the ball just with 13:20 to go. Now, for some reason, I convinced myself not to do that, but that is just you almost have to do that bet because they're down 22. Even if they go 3 and out and punt, the chances are that Jacksonville is just going to run the ball from like the 10-minute mark to the 8-minute mark, or maybe they'll get in field goal range, but you still have the chance to get the back door late. In any event, it ended up 25-3. That plus 22.5 was perfect. But the point is, you almost have to do it. I know it looks ugly because you're taking this garbage team, but the other team has no incentive to score. And they only accidentally score. And that's how you lose, when they accidentally score and your team can't score. And often your team does score, like in the Giants game. So those fourth quarters, if you can notice them early and you can get plus points, are great.
Well, just to be accurate, it was 25-3 with 6 minutes and 45 seconds left in the third quarter. So you did have about a quarter and a half.
What do you mean? Didn't something happen? Didn't something happen late? Beginning of the fourth quarter, I thought.
No, there was no more scoring in the game after that. But it went Tennessee punt, Jacksonville punt, Tennessee 4 and out, Jacksonville 3 and out, Tennessee turnover on downs, Jacksonville 3 and out, Tennessee 1st and 10 at their own 43. Ward to Pollard, hit by Miller, he fumbles, and that was the ball game. Jacksonville just ran off the clock after that. The only issue, though, again, because you bring it up how bad Tennessee is, they are so unwilling. I shouldn't say unwilling because they had 2 turnovers on downs. But they just, if it can go wrong, it does with that team. So you just wonder, like Jacksonville had so many, from that point forward, Jacksonville had 5 different chances to score, 4 different chances to score. So, and Tennessee is just, you almost have to assume the 0.
Oh, by the way, you're right. They didn't. It was with 13-18 because I remember there was 13 minutes left. They punted the ball. I'm sorry, they didn't punt. They were at the Jacksonville 34 and they went for it 4th and 6. Didn't get it. So now Jacksonville was getting the ball, but you were getting 22.5, and Jacksonville was getting the ball at their own 34. So I chickened out because I was like, oh, what if Jacksonville gets in field goal range and blah, blah, blah. But, my point, I guess, is just don't chicken out on those. As long as you have a team that somewhat can do something. I mean, the only one I lost this whole year was that Raiders game. Remember when the Raiders were getting killed by Kansas City and they never got a first down and they never did anything and they never ran an offensive play? That was kind of, I think, the only one that was really bad for the fourth quarter. Everything else has been great.
And by the way, I was completely wrong about Mike Tomlin. It wasn't this week at all that he had some strange punt. So I apologize on that count. We didn't have any problem with Washington going for the 2 to win that game against Denver.
No.
That was the proper play.
Absolutely.
We all agree. Yeah.
It's the only way they're winning the game, really, with only a few minutes left. Are you going to play for the tie, even 3-8? Even if you're not 3-8, I think that's the right play.
I do too. Okay. To the picks we go, beginning with, Matt, do you have anything on tonight's game as one of your pick? Detroit, a now 3.5 point favorite. As we sat here waiting for this podcast to start, Detroit money coming in has ticked up to 3.5. Does that mean St. Brown is playing? Do we know?
So here is the latest from Schefter, and this actually came out as you and I were sitting here talking. He says, Lions wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown did not practice this week due to an ankle sprain, and a return next week was considered the more realistic expectation. But the team also knows St. Brown is one of the NFL's toughest players, and if anyone can come back sooner, it's him.
What the hell does that mean?
What does that even mean?
I don't know what that means.
These guys have no information sometimes, and they just feel the need to tweet or act like they have breaking news when they have none. When these, whether it's the coaching search, there's interest here, or he might play, he's questionable. If you have no information, just say you have no information.
Is that his way of saying, like, he's not playing, but I can't really say he's not playing? Like the expectation was next week, but if anyone can do it, it's St. Brown.
I think Will's right. I think it's just like, well, I haven't tweeted in a while and I need some attention. Let me write something. Do you have a play in this game?
I played 3.5 on the Cowboys. I played it before, any of the news. Anyway, I didn't really care even if St. Brown was playing or not. I mean, compromised one way or another with an ankle injury, a wide receiver, right? So I was like, all right, I'm good with that. This Cowboys team, to me, one of the ones I had to shift the most over the course of the season from a power rating perspective, right? Because as poor as they were on the defense at the beginning of the year, I think they have made up ground more than any team in the NFL on the defensive side of the ball. I think it was one of those deals, too. It was a blind spot for a lot of us out there because the trade deadline happened and then they went on bye. So it was kind of like out of sight, out of mind, right? And then it was like, oh, they traded for these 2 dudes and then they come back and then we just write it off because it was the Raiders. Okay, yes, the Raiders are terrible, but they were real acquisitions. And then, by the way, over that time, they get back Overshown as well. And so, like, you get guys back from injury, you get these trade deadline acquisitions, and I honestly believe that this defense has gotten exponentially better. And when you have a top 5 offense to go along with at least a league average defense, or at least a little bit, maybe even a little bit above league average defense now for the Cowboys, that's going to be too much for this Detroit team that just completely ravaged by injuries, right? I mean, like, even if St. Brown plays, what do we expect from him? If he doesn't, now we're talking like Isaac to Slaa is like who they're going to be going to and all these things like that. I mean, it's just too much for me. So on the other side of a field goal, I thought was way generous.
You guys have anything on this?
Yes.
Me too.
What do you got?
Willie, you have something?
Yeah, I like the Cowboys too for a lot of the reasons Matt just mentioned. You got basically an average defense now with an elite offense. The back door with 3.5 would be open. If it's a 10-point game, you could certainly see Dak taking them through the back door. So I'm surprised you're getting the hook. I like them plus the 3. I love them plus the 3.5. So I will take Dallas plus the 3.5.
Well, Todd, I'm going to step in before you give yours because I'm on the Cowboys too, plus 3.5. Normally, by the way, and that's the thing, it's all been Cowboys on the radio side also. Everybody loves the Cowboys, and normally that would worry me. Because Lions, and by the way, people who love trends, Lions 14-0 straight up, 13-1 against the spread following losses since November 2022. So that would be the case that they might make on that. And so normally if everybody's on the same side, I get worried. But what Matt was saying is just what puts it over the top for me, which is at some point you need bodies. And there's no Sam Laporta. There's no, by the way, backup tight ends gone. Brock Wright, Shane Zylstra gone. Amon-Ra, we don't know about St. Brown at this point. I don't think he's playing, but who knows? There's no Kirby Joseph, no Terrion Arnold on defense. There's other guys who might play who are banged up, like Graham Glasgow. There's center like Brian Branch. Oh, by the way, right? It's just one of these teams that it's, if you look at the Cowboys defense, what you were referring to, Matt, also. Since Quinnen Williams' debut, Week 11, Cowboys have an EPA per play allowed of 0.00. That sounds very average. It is very average. But they used to suck, I believe is the technical term. And so now they're 15th best in that in the NFL. And when you couple that with a really good offense, all of a sudden you have something here. Their rush defense EPA per play is minus 0.139 since Quinnen has come there, which means excellent at slowing down opposing running backs. And if the Lions are without all their, wideouts, not all of them, but most of the good tight end wideout combination of St. Brown and of course Laporta, not to mention other bodies, then it's going to be focused on Jahmyr Gibbs, and if the Cowboys are much improved there, it all points to the Cowboys for me. And like you said, plus the hook, I'll take it. Todd, are you for?
Before I tell you who I like, I'd like to break in here with an Adam Schefter update. Schefter reporting that the Hill family is over the salary cap at Costco. This has not been done by a family in Connecticut for many, many years, and now they're going to pay the luxury tax, and that's going to be a big problem for the Hills. So I don't know what to say about that. Now, on a second note, I would like my friend Willie to tell us the story about Bradford, because I think it's the greatest story I've ever heard in my life. To say how his kids are like little sports fiends already. Could you tell us the story of Bradford? I love that kid already. I've never even met him.
Yeah, so we were watching the games on Thanksgiving, and Bradford is 8, and I was just kind of joking around with them because I think somebody either got a touchdown or first down and started dancing around. I said, if you scored a touchdown, would you dance? And he goes, no, it could be a flag. And Toddy loved that answer. Toddy thought that signified a buttoned-up player. So
this is what I'm talking about. He could be on Dan Hurley's team with that kind of attention to detail. You will not get a mistaken flag from Mr. Bradford, and I love it. Now, if Gilly had children, they'd be getting 15-yard flags all the time, roughing the passer, hitting people out of bounds. Who knows what? Crackback block. You don't even know what those Gilly little kids would be doing. But that Bradford, he's tough. I love that kid. Okay. Anyways, my pick. You'd like to know
this where now finally? Okay, great.
You'd like to know my pick. Yes. My pick is going to be the Detroit Applebee's Lions, baby. Minus 3.5. That's right. I said it. I heard everything y'all said. Y'all went on long and long about how there's nobody in the Lions. They can't play. Lions, terrible. And I don't even like the Lions because they don't even have an offensive coordinator. Is the coach calling the plays? Is the offensive coordinator calling the plays? I hate the whole team. I think they're going in the trash. But if there's one thing I know about the National Football League, it's that if one team has covered the spread 3 times very impressively, and another team has not covered the spread very unimpressively, and that's what we're seeing here with the Cowboys crushing Las Vegas, beating Philadelphia and beating Kansas City during the Turkey Festival. Okay, everybody bonerized for the Cowboys, complete full bonerization for the Cowboys. And on Detroit's side, you got the Green Bay loss, a Giants very fickle win there, and the Eagles loss. So everybody down on the Lions. They hate the Lions. This is a perfect situation. Buy low, sell high. Give me the Detroit Applebee's wings. We're going -3.5. We're taking you all down. Detroit Lions.
I just want to say this. It's clear to everybody that this is a pick made out of desperation.
Oh,
you realize
shots fired.
You no longer have the lead. I can sense it. By the way, we should harken back to last week where, remember, Brent bullied you out of a pick?
He did bully
me. And I said it. I was like, he got bullied out of a pick.
But guess what? That pick lost, I can't remember. That pick lost anyways.
Yeah.
It did?
Okay. Yo, can I add one thing that Todd brought up that I do think is of note, maybe even moving forward just on this Lions team? If you look, where have they fallen off? It's since Dan Campbell started calling plays for this team. And I wonder if that's too much to try and coach a team and call plays as well, right? I mean, we were always praising him about his good in-game decisions, being optimal on fourth down and doing the different things to increase his win percentages. And what has happened over the last 3 weeks, we're going, what's this guy doing? Like, how is he making these decisions? It's probably very hard to sit there and try and think, what am I going to do if we do this and whatever, and how am I going to handle this situation, while also thinking, oh, I also need to come up with a play that we're going to be calling, and we're going to be doing this as well. Like, taking on that extra responsibility, I don't know if that's actually optimal for this Lions team moving forward.
And it was Johnson. Johnson was the secret sauce to the Lions, not Dan Applebee's Campbell. They lose Johnson. Look what happens. The Bears are the number 1 seed, and the Lions are falling off. I believe it was all Johnson and not Campbell. I hate the Lions. And the only reason I'm betting them this week is because I've watched NFL too long, and I've watched the people get the rug pulled out from them when it's so obvious. And if there was ever an obvious scenario, this is that scenario. And it's not about desperation. Gilly.
I don't know who you're trying to convince, but
trying
yourself.
To convince you, Gilly.
Last year, by the way,
children that get 15-yard penalties. It's unbelievable.
Last year, Lions beat the Cowboys 47-9. And, you know, some people think that will be in the memory of the Cowboys, too. One of the people who does Master of Puppets on Twitter, Real Bozarth, who said, yes, Detroit smashed the boys last year and they showboated a little with some of their play calls to score touchdown. Dallas will be ready tonight and win straight up, he says. On the old Twitter machine at Beating the Book. So we shall see. I don't know that we've ever had everybody having a pick on the Thursday night game, but here we are. 3 on Detroit. Excuse me. Yes, 3 on Dallas, pardon me. 1 on Detroit. Todd laying the 3 in the hook on the Lions. All right, Matt, then, since we all have 1 on that, you get the first crack at number 2.
I really like the Jags at home, catching a couple of points against the Colts. It is, to me, 2 teams heading in opposite directions here. You lose Sauce Gardner on the defensive side for the Colts as well. I think Jacoby Myers started to look a little bit better in this offense now that he's been there about a month and starting to figure out how he can help. You get Brian Thomas back. You get Britton Strange back at the tight end position. They're running the ball pretty well on the Jag side of things. And then this defense, kind of a blind spot for me this season. They've kind of been in the top 10 of all the categories that I care about almost all season long. And if anything, the arrow's kind of ticking up just a little bit for them on the defensive side. And, you know, one of the things, obviously, I'm imagining playing quarterback is probably pretty hard with a broken leg. And I think I fell victim to this as well, but then you kind of dig in and Daniel Jones, everyone's like, oh, his mobility and all this, and it's going to be compromised. It's like Daniel Jones has as many games with 1 yard rushing as he does with 20 yards rushing this year, you know? And like, I think sure, he is not a statue back there or anything like that, but he is not this take off and get it done dude and all of that. And so if it's really the mobility that we're talking about, is just moving around in the pocket and kind of avoiding sacks, well then, yeah, that's probably going to be compromised. I can only imagine with a broken leg, right? And so with all of those things put together here and the fact that, like I said, I think that the Jags are kind of figuring it out. Maybe it took Liam Cohen just a little bit longer than it took Ben Johnson to kind of get into the reins here and take over a team and really get it rocking and rolling. But I think they are hitting their peak at the right time where the Colts seem to be falling off.
I bet that during guessing lines on Monday, I bet 3 things. That was one of them, debating whether to put them in my top 3 today on this. Might be my third, but I'm with you.
What's the official number we're getting for that?
1.5, right?
Yeah, official number right now is 1.5. 1.5 seems to be the
Jags plus 1.5 is his official pick.
Consensus.
Okay.
Yeah, there are 2s out, but 1.5 is consensus. I just don't understand why the Colts are road favorites. Like I don't really get why that is justified.
Well, it's in there. They figured this team out now, right? It's like stop Jonathan Taylor, make Daniel Jones throw to beat you, and seems like that's working out for these teams.
Does the fact that, Matt, does it scare you that it is the Jaguars and they seem to find a way when everything's going well to shoot themselves in the foot a la Plaxico Burress?
It's kind of a deal where I will take a guy in Trevor Lawrence that I am not really sold on, but I do know that he has 2 legs intact, as opposed to the other guy that I'm not really sold on that I know has 1 leg that is not intact.
Broken fibula.
Yeah.
We were told this week or last week that 16.7% of one's body weight comes down to the fibula. So he's 16.7% diminished from what he was to begin with. All right, Todd, your second is?
My second pick, I'm going to go with
once again, catching him by surprise.
No, because I have 4 picks written down here and I have to decide which one I want to do. I'm going to go, I'm going to do it. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, please. Last we've met our heroes from Tampa. They got a lackluster win, 20-17 against Arizona. They've looked bad, but prior to that as well. And now you're going to say, so you're going to lay 8.5. Is that the correct number, by the way? Am I right about that? Bucks minus 8.5?
Yes.
Okay. You say you're going to lay 8.5, Todd, with this team that's coming in limping, not really playing that well. Is that what you're going to do, Todd? And I say, yes, that's what I'm going to do, Todd. We are playing the New Orleans Saints. This is not a team that can score the football. Okay, I don't care that you went down to Miami and you got a backdoor touchdown and everyone went crazy. Give me a break. This team stinks. It stinks out loud. I don't even know who came up with stinks out loud, but it's a great saying. This team stinks out loud. They cannot move the football. Okay, even with the backdoor, what did they get? 17 points against Miami? I mean, give me a break. Look at some of these other games. They barely score. And you're telling me Baker Mayfield can't have an explosion reaction against them and whoop this team's ass 27-13 or something? I think Tampa's ready to have an explosion on the west side of Florida. Give me Tampa Bay minus 8.5. Haven't looked good in a couple of weeks. And now you get some garbage team to come in there and you say, 8.5 in NFL, that's way too much. Yeah, at first glance. But not this week, my friends. Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Todd Wishnev. You know he means it when he gets in that low voice. J Cam, finest cork addict in the game. That's what he says. It's very true.
By the way, Bradford texted me.
Evans and
Jalen McMillan back in practice this week for the Bucs.
You know what I appreciate most about Matt Brown? That he doesn't buy into your dramatics and your shenanigans. He's just all business on the show.
Saying it's good. That's good. That's good for him.
I appreciate it. Will Hill.
Not everything is about buttoned up. We're in the world of entertainment, Gilly, here. We're not just about information.
Shut up. Will, go.
He's mad because I slandered his children who haven't been born.
How's that for entertainment? Shut up. Go, Will.
What do we have for Jets Dolphins?
Yeah. I'm going to kick you out of the Discord server, Gilly.
I'm not even in it yet. How can you kick me out? I wasn't invited. Jets, Dolphins. Dolphins minus, what are you saying?
If we're doing consensus, 3.
3. Yeah. 3. I see 2. 3.
I will take that 3 with the Jets, who have been very kind to me lately in an unkind year. I still think this team is underrated. We're sitting here in December. They somehow still have not recorded an interception. I thought it would happen last week with our buddy Curtis Cousins. It didn't. Maybe Tua Tagovailoa is a prime suspect to throw one here. He is notoriously bad outdoor, colder weather. I know it's not going to be a brutal weather day, high 30s, low 40s. Maybe we get a little bit of a break and it's crappier weather, which I would like even more here for the Jets. But I've been going back to the stat. I'll go back to it one more time. Fumble luck. The Jets dead last in the league. They've recovered 21% of fumbles. Miami, third luckiest team. They've recovered 67% of fumbles. The Jets have been pretty adequate, feisty last week. Their special teams have been really good. I'll take the 3 points here with the Jets.
Luckiest fumble luck in the NFL this year, the Chicago Bears. like out of control.
Yeah.
And then the Jets, first 12 games of the year, as Will points out, not a single interception. They are the first team in NFL history to go 12. They were the first team to go 11 games from the beginning of the season without a pick. They're the first team to go 12 games without a pick. The record streak for most games in a row without a pick is last year's Niners, which I don't remember. They went 14 games in a row. It wasn't from the beginning of the season, though. But that's the record, the infamous record that the Jets don't want to match, that they're 2 games away from now.
Is fumble luck both your fumbles and the other team's fumbles?
Yes.
That's correct. Yes. Both ways. So that's, I mean, and it's completely unpredictable, right? There's no rhyme or reason to it being predictable from 1 week to the next, let alone throughout a season.
I'll throw in one more thing about this, and it's a game you remember, Gilly. They played earlier in the year on Monday Night Football. It was a pretty close game. The Jets outgained it by 100 yards. There were some, as you would say, some questionable officiating in that game. So maybe the Jets can get a little revenge here.
Can I just say what I think about that? I am not a conspiracy guy. If there was ever an NFL game where I would be on board with something was amiss with their officiating, it was that Jets-Dolphins game. There was like 6 things that went against the Dolphins. Remember that was the game where the dude, it was Justin Fields got hit, 3 yards out of bounds. There was no call. And then a Dolphin destroyed somebody on the ground. At least 2.
The guy slid and he got blasted. Yeah.
You got no call. Like there was a bunch of stuff, and then the Jets would get flagged for random stuff. That game was ridiculous.
Todd, plug your ears. Stats are coming. Sorry. Plug your ears. Stats are coming. I do have a play in that one as well, but it's on a prop standpoint. Miami's defense is really, the secondary is terrible, and they give up explosive plays at the 3rd highest rate in the NFL. I hate that. I know it's the buzz thing in the industry right now, but A.D. Mitchell, I actually did do the whole ladder thing on him in this game because he's going to finish with like 20 yards or 100 yards because he's going to have the opportunity. He's like, can he actually do the thing that wide receivers are getting paid to do, which is catch it? Like that's his problem. But he's going to get the opportunity like a ton in this game. His number's at 46.5. I think you can play 60 plus, 70 plus, 80 plus, like however you want to do it, because it's going to be there. They're going to huck it down the field to him. It's just whether he can actually catch it or not.
Adonai Mitchell. Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Todd, anything to add?
Yes. I'd like to say I'm not against statistics. I just believe that statistics lie in the National Football League better than they lie in any other sport. In baseball, they don't lie much at all. Basketball, they don't lie much at all. In the sport of football, they lie the most. So that's why I am very skeptical. Now, question about statistics. What is the baseline number of a team fumbling the ball and getting it back versus the other team fumbling the ball and getting back? Is it 50% on both sides?
It's supposed to be 50-50, yeah. Like if you played enough football, even out. Yeah, because there's no, I mean, how can yeah.
No, because I would think you would lose more fumbles, like just as on a baseline level, because you have fumbles by wide receivers when there's 5 defenders around, and you have fumbles. You know what I mean? So I would have thought that if you fumble the ball, you would.
What? Right, but it's offense and defense also, so it all in the wash, as you say.
Right. No, that's true. But what I'm asking you is, are your offensive fumbles recovered less if you took all the offenses versus all the defenses?
You didn't say offensive fumbles. I don't know what incrementally what the difference ought to be. No.
But would I be correct in thinking? Would I be correct in thinking that when the offense fumbles, it does not baseline get it back 50%?
Correct. I would think so because the defense is facing the ball, whereas part of the offense will not be facing the ball part of the time, right? Especially if it's at the line of scrimmage, right?
Right.
So I think you're right, but I don't know the exact number of that. By the way, I meant not about the statistics. I meant about, did you have anything to add to the prayer is what I was talking about earlier. But I
understood about the prayer, but I don't talk religion on this megapod.
Okay, that's the new. I love how you can randomly get serious and make the joke on me. Thanks, Todd. Appreciate it. All right, my number 2 is the Washington Commodores. Let's go.
I got the way worst of this one.
Oh, I did too.
I bet a -1.
I did too.
Oh, I got the way worst of this one.
On guessing lines, I was like, oh, I'm going to be a genius. I'm going to be ahead of this. And I took the Commanders -1, and I was like, how can this not be -1? By the way, 10 minutes later on the show, it got to -2, and I'm like, I'm a genius. Now the Washington Redskins, if I may call them that, are dogs. So the Commodores are dogs here, and I don't really understand why they are. Minnesota, this just in, Will, close your ears, was Will Hill's team here. They suck badly at football, really badly. And I'm not, Brosmer, McCarthy, does it matter? I don't know.
I think it does matter.
On the field.
Marcus Mariota will be the best quarterback on the field.
But
I agree with that
you
completely.
don't think it matters Brosmer to McCarthy?
Well, after last week, maybe it did. But Brosmer, I will say this. Brosmer's, his teammates didn't help him out that much. So it wasn't all Brosmer. So I don't know. Like JJ McCarthy, you're the anti-JJ guy,
I hate
Todd.
JJ. I hate him.
I hate it too.
But I thought Brosmer should be playing for North Dakota State in FCS.
Well, North Dakota State has produced a little Carson Wentz.
Not North Dakota State. Merrimack. Does Merrimack have an FCS team?
Merrimack probably does. No.
Probably.
Okay. Yeah, sure. You
Why
said
not?
so.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just think Washington's a better team. I think Washington's defense has been better the last couple weeks as well. And as you saw, despite losing to Denver, they are certainly playing for Dan Quinn. They have not like just thrown the white flag up for the season. They all seem to be locked in, especially since Dan Quinn has been calling the defense. Whereas I think Minnesota, the frustration just grows week to week, and you can see it in their faces. Justin Jefferson, 2 catches for 4 yards last week. I just like Washington as a better football team. I don't understand why this line has gone against. Do you?
What's the official line?
Right now it is Washington plus 2. Yeah, the full 2. Because I see some 2.5s out there too, and some 1.5s, but 2 is the consensus.
Yeah, and it's if anything, when we speculate, normally it runs rampant the wrong direction because like Jaden Daniels might play. You would think that this would have gone the other direction. Instead, it's heading towards Minnesota because JJ McCarthy is going to clear concussion protocol. Really, that's what we're happy about. I've seen enough. Will, I've seen enough.
Will,
at least for this year.
Will, what's your counterpoint to the point on your Vikings?
Is it my turn to pick?
Yeah, that too.
No,
but
it's not his turn to pick. But we would like to hear about your Vikings. And also, have you ever heard somebody admit? I want to give huzzas right now, or grand poobahs, or whatever you want to call them. I want to give you props to both Gill and Matt Brown. First time on a sports show I've ever heard somebody say, I got the worst of the number. First time in the history of sports gambling media that 2 people admitted they got the worst of the number. So I give you both props for honesty because you never hear it.
Well, thank you, but people know when I made the pick on the air, so they can know if I got.
Well, I'm giving props to Matt Brown then. What about Matt Brown? Can I give him props?
Appreciate it. Thank you there. Yeah, I mean, don't always get the best of it,
Don't always get the best. This just in, we don't always get the best.
Don't always get the best of
it. So we snake, so it is my pick, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So, Will, what do you think about Minnesota and Washington?
Or you will hear my thoughts when I give my final pick.
Yeah, we'll give a spot pick. My last one is Pittsburgh. I'm taking the Steelers plus 6. I don't love this.
So here's your problem because I was going to, the Lamar thing came out.
Yeah.
It's 5.5 now everywhere.
Oh, it's 5.5.
I mean, that might not change your opinion, but it is off of the 6.
I have a bet on them plus 6. I'm still going to take the Steelers plus 5.5. It was a choice between the Steelers and the Colts. I mean the Jaguars. I made both of those bets along with Washington on guessing lines. Todd, that airs on Monday, by the way. Steelers plus 5.5. I didn't even know that before. So Lamar, what's the report on Lamar?
DNP today. So he had been not practicing on Wednesdays and then getting in the Thursday and Friday practice, and he was limited yesterday, and then DNP's out of nowhere today.
Yeah. If it's not Lamar, it's Cooper Rush.
I think it's Snoop Huntley.
That's right. That's right. We had the Cooper Rush experience already. Lamar, by the way, I'm not even sure I don't want Lamar. Lamar, for every good play that the announcers gush over this year, he is woefully inaccurate. It's the, I know they're not the same player, but when RG3 got hurt, somehow his mechanics went out the window. And this is what we're seeing with Lamar Jackson this year. Some of these passes are they're not even close. And the announcers just didn't say anything. They're like, never mind.
I know we can't talk bad about him.
And he's hurt, right?
He's like the pitcher that needs the curveball to set up the fastball. He needs the ability to run, and people respect the play action and the read option, and then the windows are bigger, and then he can throw. When he's just going to be confined to the pocket, he can't get away from the rush. He's just such a different player. Granted, that game last week could have looked differently. The offensive pass interference, which I thought that was the correct call, but that was 7 points. They don't always call that. And then likely fumbled in the end zone. So that's 14 points that got taken away, but he's clearly not the same player physically.
Clearly not. Now, am I thrilled backing a 42-year-old quarterback? Aaron Rodgers just turned 42 this week. The answer is no. But I don't think the Ravens should be this big of a favorite over many teams, let alone the team that, by the way, the Ravens Steelers, both 6-6. This is for the number one spot, the first place, I should say, in the AFC North. The Jags Colts game is for first place in the AFC South. We also have an NFC North game between the Bears and the Packers for first place in the NFC North. This is a great weekend. Detroit, Dallas, which isn't for the top of the division, but has huge implications. So does the Kansas City Texans game. So this is a great weekend in the NFL. But I'm going with the Steelers plus the points.
Gilly, did Jens have lunch today?
Did we have lunch yet today?
Did Jens have lunch today? Because it sounds like you didn't have a real good meal because you're not getting any oxygen to the brain in that. Because I'll tell you, we're really in trouble down here. We're really in trouble. People want to kill Tomlin. They don't even want to play Renegade anymore. We're in big trouble. Everyone's all over. They're just really tired of this football team. So I was just wondering if you're getting enough oxygen to the brain in that.
We didn't have lunch. If I believe I heard that correctly. We did not have lunch yet. That's right. Not yet. Not enough oxygen to brain. Will, I'm anxious to hear now. Are you on this Minnesota game?
I'm taking the Minnesota Vikings minus the 2 points. It will be typical of Minnesota now that their season is shot. The Jets do this too. They'll blow their draft position. I'm just going to take the home team with the much better defense. Vikings 11th in DVOA defensively. Washington is 27th. It's ugly. It's buy low, but it's like Todd talked about with the Lions. Sometimes it's the best time to buy in on these teams, and you can't get any lower than what we saw last week against Seattle, where Seattle basically could have just kneeled the ball every play, and they would have won the game and won it convincingly. It's not that long ago this team won at Detroit. I still think if you had average quarterback play, which is interesting, who would be an average quarterback? If you put Mac Jones on this team, they could be like a 9 or 10 win team. They won 14 games last year with a pretty similar team. I just think the quarterback, it's like having a car with no driver and it's going off the road. The quarterback play has been so bad. Not that McCarthy, I expect him to play much better this week, but I still think the roster's okay. I think they'll play hard for Flores, for O'Connell. Again, better defense, home, buying low. Maybe I'll pick up a game here on old Gilly.
And can we give Mac Jones more credit than just calling him average this year? He was better than.
When I say average quarterback, who jumps in your head? Because I was thinking about this. Like, is Lawrence an average quarterback? In your mind, if I said who's the most average? There's 32 teams. Who's the 16th best quarterback? I'm curious all your answers. Who would you pick?
That's a great question.
I think Trevor Lawrence, is like a pretty great starting point.
Bo Nix.
That's not a bad one.
It's a good question.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Mac Jones isn't that far from 16. If you want to say he's better than that, I'll buy it, but he's not that far from 16. Do you think so?
Who?
Mac Jones is not that far. You could say he's better than 16, but what's he, 13, 14? Like, I don't think he's top 10. So I don't know. I'm curious what you think.
He had a really solid year. Yeah, he's better than I think Jalen Hurts is a good example. What is Jalen Hurts at this point? I don't know. Is he 12? Is he 20? I don't know.
I think he's better than midway, though.
Yeah. Maybe. All right,
You'd
Todd,
rather have Mac Jones than Hurts, Gilly?
That sounds terrible. Yes, wouldn't I? Based on their performance this year, Mac Jones, I hate to say it.
You would take Mac Jones over Hurts for real, Gilly?
Yeah, Hurts has. Yeah. Based on performance thus far this year, Mac, dude, why do people think Jones wasn't really good this year?
No, he has been. He has been.
There's a point where it's like, do you really want Brock Purdy to start on this team? Yeah.
Yeah, but forget just this year. If I just came to you straight up and said, you could,
no Ayuk.
Don't worry, Matt. You'll find Todd. Whatever Todd has to say is more important than anything.
He's doing with all those.
I didn't know he was talking, Gilly, because of your substandard technology.
That's what it is. It's the technology. I'm sorry.
Here's some stats for you. The damn thing doesn't do well on the uptake.
All right. What's your last one, Todd?
By the way, I looked at the Commanders right off the bat, and I'm like, oh, my God, it's definitely the Commanders, right? But then I thought to myself, this is for all those things that Willie was just saying, because the first thing that popped right into my head for the simpleton of me, like the Gilly part of my brain said, of course, Commanders. Why should the Commanders be +2, right? But then I thought about what Willie said, so I backed off of it. Anyways, I'm going to go with for my third pick. I'm going to pick between my number 3 and my number 4 pick. And I'm going to go with over 47.5 in the Colts against the Jaguars game. The Colts have been an over team all year long. It's not like they really do a lot on defense to stop people. They score a lot. Now, you're telling me that they're playing with 16% less of a quarterback because his femur is not in, or fibula, or whatever you guys called it, is troublesome. I just don't know. I just think that they're still an over team. They can move the ball. They can run the ball. They can throw the ball. Jacksonville has shown us that they're willing to play some high scoring games when it's against a team that can move the ball as well. So I guess yeah, sure, the Colts haven't been this high flying offense lately, but I think we might see some regression back to the mean of them being an over team. And I'm going to say that over 47.5. And what's the weather like in Jacksonville? It can't be freezing cold in what's it called, right? It's not going to be some.
It'll be raining, I think, is what the kind of but I mean, it's kind of in advance to try to say that it's definitely going to be raining. But
and remember, you're not allowed to call it Jacksonville. You have to say it's Duval County. That's by law.
I have to do what?
Yeah,
Duval.
Rain.
No.
Rain in Jacksonville is basically the forecast.
That's scaring me a little bit. Okay, I'm staying with it. Over 47.5. I'm gonna, as long as there's no wind, I'm gonna say over 47.5. Maybe we'll get some turnovers for touchdowns.
Matt Brown at Matt Brown M2 on Twitter. What's your final pick?
Final pick. I'm actually going to go to a total as well, and I'm going to go to the highest one on the board and play it under. Well, I guess the one tonight is the highest one on the board, but the one in on the Sunday slate there, I'm going to take under 53.5 in Cincinnati and Buffalo. This actually could be a weather game. Pretty good chance of snow. It's going to be in the low 20s for sure. With all of that, at least a little bit of wind too that's going to be going on out there. And further, if you kind of look, the way that you attack this Buffalo defense is they're atrocious against the run. They've actually defended the pass pretty well. It might be by design that they want you to do the least efficient thing, but in whatever case, they've actually defended the pass pretty well and have been really, really bad against the run. I think that you see a pretty healthy dose of running the ball in this one from Cincinnati and not really playing up like super, super up pace. And then on the flip side, you can kind of do whatever you want to against Cincinnati, but certainly they are super leaky on the ground as well. James Cook has been the MVP of this Bills team as it is. No offense to Josh Allen, but I mean, James Cook has been the dude that's gone out there every single week and performed. I think we see a bunch of stuff on the ground. I don't know if the weather is going to cooperate either. If it's super, super cold, we know these like 58 yarders that seem commonplace are a little bit tougher and all of that. And, you know, with that stuff, we could see some more fourth downs going for it. Maybe those don't get converted. So taking the under in the 53.5 in the Cincinnati and Buffalo game.
So you like Cook rushing?
There you go.
Matt, do you like Cook rushing over?
I think Cook is going to get a ton of work in this game. A ton. He's doing it all though. I mean, he's catching passes, he's doing everything for them. I might do like the rush and receiving type deal with him.
As I look to extend my Megapod lead over Todd. Although the guest chair is really the leader. I mean, we really should consider the fact that I'm
guest chair
really
doesn't count as the leader.
Okay. All right. Todd knows the bylaws better than anybody.
I don't. Look, I didn't make the bylaws up. I just read them to you.
You just read them? Okay. And I will say this. It also shows you, right? I'm still a game below 500 here. We pick 3 games against the spread or totals, right, every week. And I had an 0-3 week 1. And it shows you like it has still taken this long to make up for that disaster. As long as you don't go 0-3, you know, but what you
were
do
35-18. You had your 35-18 dream run.
Oh.
You could have gone 0-3 that year and just totally buried that number with your spectacularness that year. For some reason,
the dude in Million that was winning all year long, Potato Commish, went 1-4 this past week and is now 2 games back of the guy that's leading the contest. Like he has one bad week and he's 2 games back.
Come on, Potato Commish. We're rooting for you. Yeah, a 1-4 is all you just. What's the Millions thing is just avoided 0-5 and a 1-4. 2-3 has to be your worst kind of thing.
By the way, potato knishes, do you like a more doughy outside or do you like a hard shell? I like a hard shell in the potato knish.
I'm more of a doughy guy. Really? You think we should ask the Giles on the show what they think about the potato knish? They
probably don't even know what a potato knish is.
I couldn't probably pick one out of a lineup. We're honest. It's great. 3 things that look similar. I don't know if I was good.
I'll line up 3 things. Matt Brown, which is the potato knish?
Matt, can you identify the gumbo jambalaya?
No, I can do that all day.
All day long.
Good.
By the way, you happy about Lane Kiffin being the coach of your football team?
If he goes and wins games at $13 million a year, sure. Go win games. If you're going to pay $13 million a year, go win games. I actually don't want to derail the thing, but I honestly can't believe all the craziness that's gone on about all of this or whatever. And it's like everyone blaming him and he abandoned the team and he did all this. And it's like, there are very few jobs in this world where you are looking like, I'm going to stay here for life. I love this so much that if someone comes and gives me a better offer for more money, I'm going to stay anyway because I just love it so much, right? Like we're all trying to ladder up in life, basically. And
I don't think anybody has a problem with that. I think it's a sucky situation because of the timing of everything.
Sure. Yesterday being signing day.
But I think he made a bad thing even worse by just him like lying at the end, right? Him being like, oh yeah, my players all wanted me to stay. And all the players on Twitter like, no, we didn't. None of that happened.
Did you see the thing where he's got the fake dog? Did you see? I think I retweeted the thing where it was so good.
And then
but
of course, the bigger thing.
Hypocrisy. Gilly, doesn't the hypocrisy bother you? Go, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, also just the final thing is that the biggest thing, of course, is him saying, yeah, like I wanted a coach, but they wouldn't let me. It's like, bro, just stop making out, like, no, that's not true either. Like you expect them to make you play. So I don't think I think everybody appreciates, hey, you got 90 million or whatever the money is, even though he claims he doesn't know what the contract is. But I don't think anyone has a problem with that. I just think they have it's just his manner in doing it.
Can I make one quick point?
Yeah.
Here's my only problem with it. All these football coaches go in there and give you a rah-rah speech. You guys got to play for each other. You guys got to come together as a team. We're trying to win as a team for team football. It's all this rah-rah bullshit because they're not. Yeah, he wants you guys all to play as a team, but when it's time for him to go out the back door for $13 million, he could give 2 squirts for the team. So don't give me the rah-rah team bullshit. Hey, everyone should take their stats down a little because of the team. We're all about the team getting W's. Fuck you, and pardon my language. Fuck you and your goddamn team bullshit.
There's people walking here in the hallway at the win. Let's relax.
What I would say, just kind of put a bow on this, is like really, and I know that a lot of people have already said this already, but really truly the problem is the calendar. Like it's a no-win situation for both teams, right? Like LSU needs a coach in the building to try to sign these recruits that are there. Ole Miss can't have a dude in the building
100%.
that is like, hey, sure, come here, even though I'm leaving and whatever. Yeah. How do you recruit like that? It's like, so the fact they have National Signing Day right here where the season is still going on is the real problem because you're trying to get these kids to come in. It's why Penn State, who's sitting there without a coach, has a worse recruiting. Did you see this? They had the 165th rated recruiting class. They have worse than some of the Division II teams and whatever because they don't have a coach. And what kid is going to go and sign there?
Yeah.
Well, last thing I'll say on this, Gilly, just quickly, but what did we give it? 13-1, 12-1. If Ole Miss had ever lost to Mississippi State, it would have been so easy for the committee to just leave them out. They were not getting in if they had lost. So that was a great bet. Sometimes you say this all the time. Sometimes good bets don't get home. 11, 12, 13-1 on them to miss. All you needed was Mississippi State as a touchdown underdog to win that game. They would have 100% been out. I feel really confident about that with what a disaster this is.
I agree. Not to repeat my radio rants, but I just felt like college football media, like those broadcasters, that whole thing is so confusing to them that they don't even know what they're talking about when things happen. So when Ole Miss walked off that field, when Oklahoma walked off that field the other day, and when Notre Dame walked off the field, all those announcers were like, they're in. They're in. And it's like, no, they're not. Like if BYU wins, like one of these teams is getting bounced. And even in the case of Notre Dame, I think if BYU loses, and we talked about this, now that Notre Dame and Miami are buttressed up against each other now in the rankings, only BYU in between them. Now it will go to the head-to-head, I think, and Notre Dame could be toast either way. So I don't know. I just think the whole thing is.
But do you disagree with me, Gilly? Do you agree?
No, I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I disagree with cursing 5 times.
I apologize. I apologize for cursing. I get very angry at incredible hypocrisy.
I'm a big fan of cursing, but 2 would have sufficed.
I apologize.
It's all right. That's all right. No, I agree with everything you're saying. I do. Okay. To the and also Dumbo of the week, which I kind of botched earlier. The real discussion that I had this week, and I think everybody had, I didn't even know this was happening on Twitter after the Black Friday game between the Bears and the Eagles. And I was making this point earlier this week is I just feel like it was the go for 2 or not to go for 2 for the Eagles. The Eagles were down 9. There was 3 minutes and 10 seconds left in the game. So that's 190 seconds left in the game. And I just think each side is so entrenched in their position. There's you must go for 2 analytics people. Like, we'll use our buddy Fezzik as one of these. And I'll focus on them because I think they're so nose up in the air about that stuff. Like, it's like, okay, that career is like going for 2 down 9 in a 15 point deficit, going for 2 down 9 with less than 12 minutes left in the game is 1 in 26 lifetime for that team to end up winning. 1 in 26. And these analytics people are and I love analytics, right? One of those idiots who believes in analytics, but they're so entrenched in their viewpoint. Like, you are so overly confident about something that's 1 in 26. Can you not just allow for the fact that there are variables in football? To your point, Todd, right? Football is there's too many moving parts for you to be so sure of your position. It's a different calculus if there's 190 seconds left or 14 minutes
timing.
left. Yes.
It's literally all timing.
Yes.
Whereas, like you said, so if there's 12 minutes left in the game, there is still an option for 2 natural scoring drives to happen, right? So a field goal is not out of the question. And so you don't have to go for 2 in that situation because a field goal is not completely off the table. 3 minutes left in the game, you can't kick a field goal. You don't have time to do that. So yes, you have to go for 2 in that situation. So yes, it's all timing. And it's not said fast, because I had someone come at me and say, well, why didn't everyone always go for 2 then when they're down 15? I'm like, because you can still score naturally throughout the course of the game. You're not having to up your tempo. You're not having to throw every single time. All these. So yes, there's tons of different variables. But a lot of it just comes down to time.
But I would say this,
I don't understand.
It's so tedious. If you don't get the 2, you're not going to win. So I believe in, know what you need. I'm going to go for 2 guy, but it's so splitting hairs, where the bottom line, whether you miss the 2 early or you miss the 2 the second time, if you miss the 2, you're not going to win the game 99% of the time.
Willie.
It's such a waste.
Willie, there's no second time. If in the 15 to 9 scenario, the question is, do you want to know earlier whether you're going to be behind by 2 or not? I'm not sure what you guys are talking about as far as the field goal and all that, but 15 to 9, the argument for the people that Gilly's calling analytics is they're saying we want to know ahead of time whether or not we going to have to miss that 2 and get something later, because they're saying if you wait.
That's okay. You're actually articulating something that some of them articulate, some of them don't. But it still comes down to, right, that it's not a static response, in my opinion, right? It's not a static response. And by the way, the results bear out the fact that it shouldn't be a static response.
No, but what's the other side?
Because the other side is, who cares with 190 seconds what your knowledge is? There's not enough time for that to be a relevant,
as relevant. Then why would it matter whether you went the first or second? I'm asking honestly, why would it matter then whether you went first or second anyways at that point?
No, because if there's 190 seconds left, right, your shift in your brain ought to think. Joe Pita's point, by the way, is what they don't really factor in is also the strategy of the other side, right? Which is if the Bears are up 8 versus up 9, they also play differently. He thinks if you're up 8, you kind of turtle up, right? Like the same analytics people who are like, yeah, being up 6 might be worse than being up 3 because the opposing offense will settle for a field goal as opposed to beating you with a touchdown, are not willing to make the concession in the other direction also. So there's that too, right? There's strategy and there's all kinds of stuff.
Well, I'm not saying it's all. I thought the argument was it's you want to know what you need versus it's you want to keep everybody hoping they can still win because they're down 8 instead of.
Any of them don't even articulate that. And even to those who do, I would say time matters.
Yeah. And it's kind of like the poker analogy, right? It's like the best place to be are the poker tables on the button because you have the most information. And so you know what you want to do by the time it comes around to you. It's kind of like the argument here on the other side is like, me personally, I would always want to know as much information as early as possible so that I can adjust accordingly, right? But like I said, it doesn't have to be done at the 12-minute mark though, because again, you can still just operate your offense normally through the rest when you have 12 minutes left in a game.
I'm not saying the analytics people are wrong. I'm saying what they're saying is logical, but it doesn't account for everything. And you shouldn't be so entrenched that your viewpoint
I agree with that.
Right? That's all I'm saying. Right. Okay. Teaser of the week, and there are plenty of teaser options. Matt, what is your favorite 2 teams?
Oh, do I love this one?
Oh, there's so many of these.
Seahawks, Broncos. Oh, do I love that one?
Wow, you really
I love Seahawks Broncos. Yeah, I mean, Seahawks are my second rated power rated team in the NFL. So I'm getting to take my second power ranked team down to 1 point against Atlanta, who is down at 26 for me at this point. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I will do that all day long. Again, don't know for sure they're going to be back, but a defense that is already really good in Seattle. They also have Love and Reed designated. They open their window, so might not come back this week. But by the way, a defense that's already really, really good is going to get back 2 of their starters. It's going to be this defense is going to be really, 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 really good. But yeah, take them down to a point, and then dude, this Raiders team is just dead on arrival. Like there's absolutely nothing they can do.
So bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even love the Broncos, but I mean,
Broncos are just terrifying.
This is less a play on the Broncos as more of a play against the Raiders, who just can't do anything at all.
Broncos only beat the Raiders by 3, I think, earlier this year. So this is not a wonger because they're both road teams, but Seattle and the Broncos. Seattle down to 1, Todd. Broncos down to 1.5 in those 2 games. Toddy, what's yours?
Mine is going to be the Commodores up to, now you're saying the official line of the Commodores is 2. So now I get 8 points with the Commanders, correct?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to take the Commanders plus 8 because I did like them. I mean, honestly, I liked your pick. I was just scared of the whole, what Willie was saying. So I'm going to take the Commanders plus 8 because I don't think they're going to get blown out. And then I'm going to take my Bucks. I said I like the Bucks against the Saints. If I can get up underneath the field goal, which 8.5 minus the 6 equals 2.5, I will take the Buccaneers minus the 2.5 for the second leg.
I mean, I think it's a good leg because how does Minnesota score 8 points? So I mean, I look at it that way. How do they score 8 points? So I think it's a good look there.
So Matt is even more bullish on this than I am. Will.
Jags, what are we getting? 1.5, so we get the 7 hook there.
Jags. Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna go for the middle. I think the Vikings win, but I mean, I'm not delusional. They're gonna win by 2 scores. They're gonna win by double digits, basically. 9's a dead number. I'll take the Commanders and the Jags. Go for the middle.
Commanders plus 8 and Jaggers plus 7.5. By the way, just for all those everybody listening, we have been doing really good on teasers. We started the season absolutely in the trash can, and now we've struggled our way back. So we are doing very well lately in teasers.
I'm going to go Jaguars on the teaser, and I'm going to go, this is not a wonger, I'm going to go Cowboys.
Ooh.
Through the 4 and the 7 to 9.5. Somehow.
I'm telling Fez. I'm telling Fez.
That?
I have to. I'm telling Fez.
That's it. I'm over. It was between the Commanders, obviously, and the Cowboys, but I'm gonna go Cowboys there.
I thought about Titans just because Shedeur laying 10.5 and a total 33.5, but I'm not going to.
Was it Drew's line earlier this week? He goes, "When will you ever get a chance to get plus 4 points against Shedeur ever again?"
Oh wait, Gilly, that's funny that you said that because I'm hearing something right now. Hey, Jim, it's 2 minutes and 22 seconds to play here. The Lions lead 49-3. How did we not see this one coming, Jim? The Lions, when they're after a couple of losses, always come flying out of the gate, and they did it today, making Dak look silly. 49-3. Now the question is Dan Campbell going to run up the score here from the 12-yard line like he usually does? Give to Gibbs. Gibbs at the 8-7. Has into the end zone. Touchdown! And the Detroit Lions are going to win this one 56-3. Holy cow, Jim, what do you think?
that one, based on the score, lacked the drama of your other pylon plays, but still enjoyed it. Jim never has much to say. All right, final 2 questions of each and every MegaPod. Which of the big favorites, Matt Brown, is the most likely to lose outright? Here are your choices. We can't do the Ravens anymore because it's down to 5.5. That doesn't count. All right, Seahawks, 7-point favorites at Atlanta. Buccaneers, 8.5-point favorites hosting the Saints. Can't do the Bills either because that's under the threshold. Broncos, 7.5-point favorites on the road against the Raiders. Packers, there we're finally talking about this game. 6.5-point favorites at home against the Bears. The Rams, 8.5-point favorites now on the road against the Cardinals. Those are your choices. Come to you for the future. One of them lost.
Easy.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
It's the Packers.
It's the Packers.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy choice.
I think you're right.
I for what it's worth, I played 7 on the Bears. It's not available. You can, if you live in a Fanatics market, it's available, whatever, but you can get a full touchdown on the Bears.
The Bears was the only, so on guessing lines, I played Washington, I played the Jaguars, I played the Steelers, and the Bears was the one where I was like, I'm just going to wait, see where that goes. Haven't made it yet, but I'm with you on that.
Were you guys as shocked as I was in that Eagles-Bears game that they just kept handing off and the Bears were just gashing 12 yards, 8 yards, 7 yards? Menangai got 1,000,000 yards. The other guy, Swift, got 1,000,000 yards. I was in shock that the vaunted Eagles front four or whatever, the vaunted Eagles defense, just allowed them to push them around like they were San Jose State. It was embarrassing. I couldn't believe it.
By that point, I was on the verge of blacking out, so I don't really remember the end part of that. I don't really remember the end part of that, so I don't know.
Matt needed CPR at that point.
No, I don't actually. I wasn't surprised because I don't remember that part. Like, no.
Yeah, the one thing you can say is it was really never in doubt. Like, was there ever a moment? I guess the 2-point conversion, you're like, well, if they hit this, it's a possibility. That was a record. In 50 years, no team in Philadelphia, either here or at Veterans Stadium, had gained that many yards on the ground against an Eagles team.
Did that shock you as much as it has shocked me?
The whole Eagles thing has shocked me. The whole Eagles thing has shocked me because I don't know.
I'm saying how they lost. It's one thing for them to lose.
But this has started like when they were up 21-0 against the Cowboys.
Well, that's true.
Like, it's like
yeah, that's true.
Like, switch was flipped, and you're like, okay, you guys are going to suck really bad now.
There's got to be some weird stuff in that locker room because this is the second time in 3 years where they've spiraled. Or remember a couple years ago, it was like they're 11-1, but they're not that good, and then it just went off the rails. They got killed in the playoffs, and they lost the last 4 or 5 games. And this year, I know the record's not bad. I don't know. I just get the sense that something's off in that locker room.
Todd, what about big favorite most likely to lose outright is? My
big favorite to lose outright is, I guess I'm going to have to say, I don't want to say the Bears. That's just too obvious. I think I'm going to say something crazy. Cardinals. I know, it's going to be hard to see the Rams lose 2 in a row, but, wouldn't.
So the big favorite most likely to lose outright is the Rams, is what you're saying?
Yeah. What are my, I mean, I don't really have that many more choices.
No, I'm just saying the question is the big favorite. And you're saying the
you know what? Forget it. Let me go off of that. Atlanta Falcons have enough talent to beat Seattle. I'll take Atlanta Falcons to beat Seattle.
Todd Wishnev backing Curtis Cousins.
Ooh, I know that's crazy. That's crazy. But this isn't a real question. It's just it's not a real question.
It's not a real question.
Yeah.
Well, what's the answer to my fake question?
The Broncos away from home, if you look at their results, I think it's 6 games away from home. It's 2 losses and it's 4 wins, all by 4 points or less. They beat the Jets by 2. They beat the Giants by 1 at home. They don't really blow anyone out. And if you're in a close game, a total's 40.5. There's not going to be a lot of scoring. I don't really trust this Bronco team, who almost was a 2-point play away from losing to Washington. So Denver, I think, can beat anybody, can lose to anybody. I'll say the Broncos.
Yeah, I want to say the Broncos. God, the Raiders are so bad.
It's ridiculous.
He's got a foot injury. He's been terrible with both feet, and now he's going to play with 1 foot. Like, no, I can't. I just can't get there.
I will say I'm going to say the Rams. Like, all of a sudden, would it be that crazy if they lost 2 in a row? Maybe it would be. But I'll just say, to be different, I'll say the Rams. So as Scott said, it's not real.
Off for 13 catches and
Cards are not that awful. They're not as bad as their record. They're okay. They're not good, but they're actually okay, I feel like.
I sort of compared them to Tennessee this last week, which Tennessee is a much worse team than the Cardinals. But like Tennessee, seems to take a lead every game in the first half. And then there's never a moment where you think they're going to actually win the football game. The Cardinals are kind of like that, where they're like, okay, Cardinals. And then you're like, yeah, they're not winning though. But I think they can. So I'll say Cardinals against the Rams. I'll say the Rams are the most likely to lose outright. And then the final question, Matt, is you live in a bizarro world. You must play a side against spread every one of these games. But you got one game that you're like, you got a free pass on it. You're like, this game, I have no freaking idea. What game would that be?
This one also, doing my homework was very easy for me. It's that Philly on the road at the Chargers. I mean, Justin Herbert is going to, play with a broken hand. Is it going to affect him? Who knows? The Eagles look like one of the worst teams in the NFL last week. All of the, it's no home field advantage in LA. It's probably going to be a ton of Eagles fans there. I mean, all of this, and it's under a field goal going, bet me. It's 2.5. It's just going, what are you doing? Bet me. It's the Eagles. What are you doing? Bet me. And I was like, no, I'm not falling for it. Philadelphia on the road there with the Chargers.
I like that answer. Begging to be bet. Justin Herbert, non-throwing hand fracture. He says he's preparing to play.
Oh, yeah.
Says he's preparing to play. Todd.
That was my second most crazy. I was going to say that one, but second. But my first one is going to be the DeMar Hamlin anniversary game. If I'm correct, this is the game that created the asterisk in the MegaPod when Gilly lost that season because he never read the bylaws that stated that percentage wins the MegaPod. So Bills, you know what? Who knows what we're getting? Are the Bengals resurrected? Are the Bills really good again? I'm not sure. I'll pass.
That is mine too. Is this going to be a 1-week story of Cincy having a shot at the division, or are we going to be looking back a few weeks from now? I was like, this is the time where the Bengals went on their run and actually made a run at the division. So I can see it going either way. Snow adds another factor. I'm good passing this one.
That's my game too. Buffalo, Cincinnati. And just to clarify, that bylaw was written on a chalkboard with white chalk. It has been erased since then, and I am going for my third MegaPod win in 4 years.
Can everyone hear the soreness of the loser here? Does everyone hear the soreness?
Every time I say that, Todd says, "This is beneath you." To which I respond, "No, it is not beneath me at all."
Yes, knowing your ancestry, of course.
Wait, what? What? What is that? Okay. We've done all we can do. Todd, that ancestry happens to be your ancestry. So
I am a renounced ancestor.
Renounce your ancestry.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
You can't.
Gilly, before we go, I want to say one thing quickly. You always forget, so I'll remind everyone to rate, review this podcast. And I am also doing a giveaway for my podcast, giving away $250. Leave a review on Apple. When we did the switch over from the old place to VSiN, I lost a bunch of my reviews, so trying to get them back. Leave a review on Apple. You'll be in the running to win $50, doing 5 different winners. So do your homework, boys and girls.
You are bribing people to give reviews. Is that what's happening?
100%.
Okay.
Is that the podcast called Wish Bradford Was Doing It?
Yes, that's the one.
The better Bradford story is that he draws the foul on Will in the house. He bumps into him. He goes, yeah, that's a better one. Okay, name of Will's podcast, which I don't think he mentioned, was Shoulda Bet More. Yes, the Shoulda Bet More podcast, where he's bribing people to give him reviews. Please rate, review, and subscribe. Until this year, this 15th year anniversary of the MegaPod, I had never asked people to rate, review, and subscribe, and then I can't remember to do it any week. So thank you, Will.
It's good. Yeah, the backup there.
Yeah. Or Will Hill at not the Will Hill on Twitter. Todd Wishnev signing people up again at T Wishnev.
At T Wishnev will be live for at least 3 days until we get shut down on Discord, and then it'll all be over.
I feel like you're secretly rooting for it to get shut down. I'm getting that vibe.
Oh, I don't think so.
Why? Why would I want it to get shut down?
Because you're a negative person. That's why. Oh. And then you just want to be done with it. I know how your brain works.
Oh, so you're saying that? What'd you say? Yeah, but there's nothing. What's the bad part coming? I mean, other than the other things that can be bad from it, I don't really have a problem with it. I mean, some people are tipping me nicely. I mean, that's not a bad thing.
It's a wonderful thing. And how many units are you up this year?
I mean, up in college basketball, 68 and change units, and those are on either 1 unit or half unit plays. Yeah,
that's 68 units. Todd is crushing it.
254 and 140 something.
Those late unders are going to take years off our lives, Toddy. I'm like Toddy's little assistant. I'll let him know when a game is close and late and we look to go for an under. Those are not fun to sweat, but
then I sit there. Pretty good. If I miss Willie's, then I root for it to go to overtime. So I missed it and he loses, and that's the worst. Actually, I feel bad when I do that, Willie.
And to the person running the skin that was getting crushed by Todd, who shut him down on Telegram, don't worry. It's like a game of whack-a-mole. You'll never get it.
I mean, we don't know that happened for sure, Gilly. We just we're assuming.
We kind of do. Who else would have done it? Who else would have done it?
People are just haters for the sake of hating. You know that.
Okay. Matt Brown, Ready, Set, Bet, Saturday and Sunday on VSiN, 6 p.m. Eastern on Saturday with Mike Somich, who we love, by the way. 4 p.m. Sunday. Also after the Saturday show, football contest show, which you do with Samich as well. And you guys have Derek Stevens on, Jeff Benson, everybody from Circa.
We do the big reveal. I have nothing to renounce. He renounced his religion. I have nothing to renounce. I renounce my throne like Akeem on America. I have nothing to renounce. I'll renounce my throne.
You can renounce the LSU football team if you'd like.
I can't do that. They have so much of my money. I can't do that.
Are you still giving them money?
I feel like I own a little part of them.
Still giving them money?
One of those lights up there. Every time I look up, that's my light.
How you like the studio, by the way? Pretty nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Swanky. All right. Good luck from the SiriusXM studios at the Win. Good luck with all your bets. Thank you for listening to the MegaPod Week 14 in the National Football League.